Hey guys, Sam here from EDMProd, and today we're looking at voicing in layering. So we looked at EQ really quickly, and we know that sounds have to be EQ'd so they don't clash too much, and that they sound more cohesive and unified. But what about voicing? What about actually changing the MIDI of a sound? For example, taking out notes or adding notes. Because while we can play exactly the same notes with different layers, it's not always the best option. And a lot of people think that layering means you just add a new sound, playing exactly the same thing. That's not quite true. You can definitely change notes and remove stuff. So I've got 3 sounds here. None of them are EQ'd. They're all playing exactly the same thing. And this is how it sounds. So it doesn't sound too bad, but we can make this better. And the first thing I'm going to do is take some notes out of this pluck. So I'm going to leave the saw as it is. This is our main sound. It's giving the meat and the body of the sound. But this pluck, I don't think we need all those notes. So I'm going to go in here and I'm going to remove this top melody line. So now we've got this. Oops, I think there was one. No, that's cool. Yeah, going to remove that, and I'm also going to remove this bottom one because I don't think we need that bottom one there. That's just adding to the mud. So now we've got this. And layered with the saw, it sounds like this. Remember, there's no EQ yet. Right, cool. And now we've got this lead over here, which is playing all 4 notes of the chord, along with the 2 melody lines. Put that there. And you can hear that this clashes a lot with the saw. It doesn't necessarily sound bad, but the 2 sounds kind of merge, and I don't like that. So I'm actually going to just keep the melody on here, the top melody, and get rid of everything else. So we've just got this. That's how it sounds. And as a whole, so in my opinion that sounds a lot better than it did before. We've got each sound playing something different. This pluck here is playing sort of the middle of the original progression, and the lead is just playing the top melody, and they each sort of, well, not quite, they each have less content in the frequency range. So beforehand, this lead, for example, had all these notes down below, which would be conflicting with the saw, these notes down here. So now we don't need to do as much work on EQ. Like before, we would have had to remove quite a lot. Now we can just do simple EQ on each and make it sound a little bit more tight. So I'm not going to spend too much time on this. I'm just going to go through quickly. So the saw, I think we could remove a little bit around here to let that pluck come in a bit. And maybe take down a little bit of the high end to let that lead come through. Actually, we don't need to do that. Okay, now with this pluck, I just want to take out some of the top end. And a bit of the low end there, and maybe a little bit of a boost there. So now we've got this. And finally EQing this, I'm just going to, let's see, remove a bit of the low end, we don't need that. And just a little bit of this top end. So finally, with it all EQ'd and the voicing being changed, we've got this. And we can stick this into a bus or group it and affect it how we want. We can add some, I don't know, glue compression, some bus reverb and that kind of thing. So that's pretty much it for voicing. Just sort of a tip. You don't need to have everything playing the same thing. So don't feel that each layer has to play exactly the same thing, and in fact it's a good idea to really have a critical look and find out what you need and what you don't need from each layer. Each layer is doing something separate and significant, remember that. So if you add a layer and it's not really doing anything, or you don't know why you added it, then you probably shouldn't have added it. So that's voicing and layering. I hope you learned something. If you have any questions, just leave a comment and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Thanks for watching.